Ever been in a conversation where you're nodding, but secretly planning your grocery list? Yeah, that's not listening. That's hostage negotiation with your own attention span. Or worse, someone says, I'm not satisfied. And you instantly spiral into, oh my God, they hate me. I'm terrible. I should move to another planet. Yep, we've all been there. Most people think listening means just waiting for your turn to talk. Spoiler alert, that's not listening, that's loading your ammo. Welcome, welcome, welcome to This Spiritual Thing. I'm Elsa Thomas, the frequency architect and the translator of the boo-boo into frameworks that actually work. And today we're talking about a real superpower, listening. Not the smile and nod kind, the dimensional kind. Because listening isn't just about what's said. It's about who's saying it, what's underneath it, and whether you can hear the signal without drowning in. Why does this matter? Because your whole life, your relationships, your purpose, your invisible team all runs on this skill. Listening isn't just passive, it's dimensional navigation. When you learn to listen fully, you're not just catching words, you're catching worlds. So let's break this down. There are 5 phases to listening. Miss one and the signal gets distorted. Phase 1 is pause. If you skip this, you react. You cut people off, you mishear partially or whole. Instead, pause, 1 to 3 deep breaths, drop from your head to your heart space. So in an example where your friend wins, instead of instant defensiveness or fixing it, you steady yourself. At work, instead of attacking back at I'm not satisfied with you, you let the charge cool. It's simple, but game changing. Phase 2 is absorb. This is where most people fail. You hear words partially, miss expressions on them and you. Absorb means stop multitasking, even in your head. Observe wholly tone, face, body, and your own body. In the friend example, you don't just hear their rant, you catch the exhaustion on their face, or maybe even the knot in your chest. In the work example, you notice I'm not just satisfied, but the stress in your boss's voice, or maybe the gut feeling that you had. Now you're listening in stereo mode. The third phase is inquire within. This is the inner dialogue. If you skip it, you distort. You take things personally. Instead, get curious. What's stirring in me? What's the gift here? How could they be right in a different context? If the friend says something dismissive, instead of thinking, oh, they don't care about me, wonder, did I signal how important this conversation was? Are they just overwhelmed? At work, when you hear not satisfied, instead of tying it down to unworthiness, you ask, did I miss something? Is my boss under pressure? Why does my gut feel naughty? Inquiry dissolves assumption. The fourth phase is align. Without this, you carry what isn't yours. You confuse signal with noise, or you speak in not divine timing. Align means sort. What's mine versus what's theirs? What to process now, what to process later, what to communicate now versus what to communicate later. In the friend example, maybe the issue is their overwhelm, not your worth, and maybe you don't want to say anything. In the work example, maybe the dissatisfaction points to a system gap, not necessarily your identity. Alignment is where you stop distorting frequencies and evolve. And the last phase is integrate. Skip this and you loop the same misunderstandings in different relationships. Integration means letting what you've heard settle before responding. You ask, How does this shift the way I see myself, them, or even the pattern? In the friend example, you realize, oh, this stirs my need for being seen. You breathe with it. You even perhaps admire their boldness in expressing. In the work case, you realize, oh, it's about clarifying expectations sooner or being more proactive and creating a new system that would help not just you, but your whole team or maybe even the company. You digest the pattern instead of repeating it. That's integration. That's wisdom. Now, big picture, why does listening matter so much? Because it's not just humans. You're listening to three audiences every day: nature, this could mean birds, the elements, your own body. They're speaking constantly. Your invisible team, your guides, your guardians, your higher self, they ping you through intuition, through synchronicity, through resonance, through sensation. The humans, your friends, clients, and the most obvious, but sometimes the most noisiest, your partner. If you're only tuned into humans, you're missing 2/3 of the broadcast and you start reacting at effect. So, what would a balanced life look like? Not 90% doing and 10% Netflix. Here's the frequency recipe: 40% listening in a day to nature, to teams, to humans, including your own self. Only 25% doing and 35% being. Most people flip that to 90% doing, 5% listening, and 5% being. No wonder they're exhausted. Listening is not just wanting to or waiting to speak, it's dimensional navigation. It's not, did I hear them? It's, did I move through all the phases of listening with zero judgment, with curiosity, and yes, even with play? This week, I invite you to pick any one conversation where the same pattern keeps repeating. It could be with a friend, a client, or with your partner that you've had 100 times. Now, instead of running the loop again, walk it through all the 5 phases of listening. Pause, absorb, inquire within, align, integrate. And don't just think it, journal it out. Writing forces clarity, and you'll see where you skip steps. Every connection, human, nature, or guides, is leading you to lead a life more at listening so you can, more beauty expresses in your life. The more you listen, the clearer your own frequency rings. If this landed for you, share it with a friend or family. And next week, we are leveling up from listening to awareness, because if listening is how you process the signal, awareness is how you respond to it. And whatever you do, keep streaming your soul in high definition. You matter. You got this. And the universe totally subscribe to your channel. Ciao for now.